At around 1:30, welcome to Biz Africa. I'm Penina Karibe. International Money Transfer Service, Dahabshil, warns Barclays Bank to put off plans to close several money transfer accounts that provide a lifeline to millions of Somalis for another 12 months. The company, alongside Oxfam, CARE and 7 other aid agencies, maintain that cutting off this service will deny millions of Somalis their lifeline, as many depend on remittances from abroad, and that the period will allow time for consultations and development of a practical solution.
With barely 19 days to go, millions of Somalis are yet to find an alternative money transfer service to receive financial support from relatives abroad. Should Barclays make good their plan to close several money transfer accounts used in Somalia? The bank wants to disassociate itself from any system that could be used to finance terrorist activity in the country that is just lifting itself from years of war and a piracy-ridden coast along the Indian Ocean. But why look for an alternative, maintain users of the service, when, according to them, there is nothing wrong with the service mostly rendered through Dahabshil in Somalia?
We are licensed in the UK. We have never been accused. We have never been charged anything against the law of the UK. And we are fully compliant with the UK regulations, and we're happy to do anything the UK government requires to us.
Forums have been going on in Somalia, London, and this one in Nairobi, all of them piling pressure on Barclays headquarters in London to rescind its decision. Here, they argue that the bank has been opaque on reasons behind the closure and risks triggering a surge of underground money transfer services that would be a bigger risk to the world economy. Alternatively, international banks may need to recognize Somalia's underdeveloped banking system to allow Somalis an avenue to receive financing. Somali migrants around the world send approximately $1.3 billion to friends and families at home every year, dwarfing humanitarian aid to Somalia.
We deal with up to 300,000 people live in the UK, and so all of these who are British citizen, Somali British citizen, like me, I live in the UK, I'm a British citizen, and I want to help my family. So we're asking the UK government to get involved, find a permanent solution.
A meeting is scheduled for Monday between Barclays, Dahabshil, Britain's Department for International Development DFID, and other aid agencies, where they hope that the bank can extend its deadline to close the accounts for another 12 months to allow a solution to be found. Samuel Kantai, CCTV.
Some numbers now, just to put matters into a bit of context here. As much as $500 million of the $1.5 billion sent home annually by those living abroad to Somalia is handled by London-based Barclays, as you just heard. Now, Dubai-based Dahabshil has 24,000 outlets spread across 150 countries, and that includes the United Kingdom. The scale of the fallout from closure of the Dahabshil accounts will be definitely immense. Now, joining us to crystallize the issue, CCTV's Mariam Bamad, live in London, where Barclays is headquartered. Mariam, good to have you with us. Sustained pressure on Barclays Bank. Will it be enough to push Barclays to postpone the closure of these accounts?
No, it won't be. And despite humanitarian agencies urging Barclays to consider other options, and even Dahabshil Holdings, a Somali money transfer operator, saying it will comply with any new banking rules to avoid closing bank accounts, Barclays is very much adamant on avoiding any sort of potential money laundering, especially since many international banks are facing large penalties by working with countries under sanctions or otherwise deemed unfit. Just to give you an idea, about £800 million in remittance are channeled to the country by about 2 million Somalis living overseas, of course, as you were saying earlier, through small money transfer businesses. So the pressure will certainly come into play by next month, of course, with fears of money moving on the black market.
But Mariam, why is it the banks such as Barclays are looking at this as the only option? Is this perhaps going to reduce money laundering?
Well, that's what many experts are asking. This could actually lead to what we call shadow banking and more illegal money laundering as people become desperate, really, to get money across. Certainly, aid organizations will have to look for alternative ways, perhaps setting up a transfer to the Somali government, which in turn would have to funnel the money out to various things like, of course, the health sector, education, and building infrastructures. Now, this is a very heavy-handed approach, and some experts say that there can be standards in place to essentially avoid cutting off financial lifelines like this. In fact, the Overseas Development Institute has urged Barclays to consider other options, saying it's possible to maintain cash transfers.
All right, Mariam Bamat, live for us there in London. Thank you, Mariam, for these perspectives.